morning, class. Welcome to your English class, Unit-6, 0R, Part-2. Dear students, as you know that this is my second video of this lesson. So now let's discuss few points which we have done in our previous video. Explanation done till now. First point, the main character of this lesson is Bobby. It was a big day for his father, so he left home early. His father was working on a secret lunar project. Bobby tells his mother, giving a hint that he is going to the moon. Bobby escapes his mother's notice through the sewer. Now let's continue from para number 18. Then he found the big dome where they were building the rocket. It was so sleek and beautiful and shiny that he just stared at it up through the grating in the floor that was for air circulation or something. Here in this para, the word drome, which is highlighted, sleek and grating, are new words. Drome means a place from where the spacecrafts and rockets take off. Sleek means smooth and grating means a metal frame used for covering and opening, having metal rods across. Now here they are saying that Bobby was looking through the grating in the floor he was looking at the drome. He was looking at the drome and it was very sleek. Sleek means smooth, beautiful and shiny. So he was continuously staring at it. Para number 19. He did not know it was a moon rocket at first. Not until he had gone back several times to peek up at it. And then one day, two scientists came walking along, close to where he stood hidden from view. One of them was father. Now here para number 19 and 20 are telling us that Bobby did not know that at first that it was a moon rocket until he overheard two scientists talking about the rocket just near the place where he was standing hidden, and he recognized those two scientists as one of them was his father. Para number 21. Bobby almost called out to him, but he caught himself and just listened to them talking. He learned the rocket was going to the moon, and it was funny because even there they spoke in low voices and didn't give too much away. Now here in this para number 21, they are saying that Bobby overheard his father and the other scientists talking that the rocket was going on the moon, and it was and the place where he was standing hidden, it was away from them, and he was not able to hear them clearly, but still he heard that the rocket was going on the moon. Now para number 22. He had known now for 3 days that at 4 o'clock the roof would open and the drome would be turned into a blast pit and the rocket would shoot out through space to the moon. Para number 23. That was all he did know for sure. Neither of the men had said who was going on the first trip to the moon, but Bobby knew father would go. He would have to. After all, father was the second biggest scientist at Buffalo Flats, second only to Professor Skimmers himself, who was very old and wouldn't make the trip. That left father. There probably wasn't anybody else smart enough to go on this mission. Now here in para number 22 and para number 23, The narrator is telling us that it had been 3 days for Bobby to know about the lunar space rocket, and he knew that at 4 o'clock the roof would open and the dome would be turned into a blast pit, and the rocket will shoot out in the space to the moon. And in the para number 23, the narrator is telling us that nobody, as he had heard the two scientists talking, nobody said that who is going to be the person to visit the moon on the first trip, but um, Bobby knew for sure that father would definitely go, because he knew that his father was the second biggest scientist at Buffalo Flats. And second, he says second because Mr. Schemer, Professor Schemer, was the first one, the first biggest scientist according to the narrator, and Bobby. So that leaves on his father, and therefore he thinks that his father will definitely go on the mission. And he also thought that there's no one smart enough to go on this mission. Now let's move on to para number 24. The idea of going himself had been born the previous day, when he found a larger grating in the floor near the rocket and realized that if he was very careful, he could climb out of the sewer and duck into the rocket when nobody was looking. Once inside, he was quite sure he would find a place to hide until blast off. Now, in para number 24, the narrator is telling us that Bobby started thinking of going on the rocket to the trip of the moon, um, and this thought came on in his mind on the second day after coming to know about the rocket's trip to moon. And he thought that he had, when he found a bigger grating, what was grating, as I have told you in just a few minutes before. Grating is a metal frame having cross metal rods which are used to cover the opening of the surface. So he said he found a bigger grating for himself, and he thought if he could manage going out of this grating, he could tug into the rocket and he could hide himself in it and until the rocket takes off for the moon. At first, thinking about it, he had been scared, but after he realized how proud his parents would be, he made up his mind. Taking a deep breath, he opened the grating and got out. It was only 4 steps to the open port of the rocket. There was a little ramp they had used to roll things in, and Bobby's feet touched it lightly as he jumped into the ship. He found himself in some kind of a storeroom. It would be a good place to hide, all right. It was full of aluminum barrels, all the same size. He found a space between 2 rows and sat down and got his breath back. It was very quiet around him, scary quiet, but he set his lips firmly. Now, here in para number 25 and 26, we have read that at first he was scared to do so. What he was thinking about going into the rocket so that he could go on the trip. At first he was scared to do so, but after some time he realized that his parents would be proud of him if he would do such a thing. If he would go on the visit to the moon, his parents will be proud of him, he thought. After taking a deep breath, he opened the grating and stepped onto the port of the rocket, and he found a he found some kind of a storeroom. He thought it was a good place to hide in, and that place was full of aluminum barrels, and those aluminum barrels of all same size. He found some space between two rows and sat down. He got his breath back. Breath back means he got a little bit relaxed. He was very It was very quiet around him. He was little bit scared, but he decided, he was determined to go to the trip. He was going to the moon with father. John Kendall was a little late that night. He greeted his wife and said, "Well, Myra, did you see the big skyrocket?" "How could I miss it, dear? Your supper is in the oven." John lay back in his easy chair and closed his eyes. "We'd hoped to stage a little ceremony on the launching, but Washington said no. Washington said, simply light the fuse and fire the thing." Now, here in para number 27 to para number 30, there is a little bit conversation going on between Mr. John Kendall, father of Bobby, and Myra, Bobby's mother.